taking two different stances. You can either play a bunch of single prize Pokemon and try to get the job done by targeting weakness and using other interesting attacks to make this an awkward game for your opponent, or you can just blast them out of the water with Kyurem VMAX, and that doesn't work so well when your opponent is using the one prize Pokemon, but having that much hit points means that you're not getting knocked out either.
I mean, it's going to be really hard to knock out a Kyurem VMAX. There is, of course, the Registeel is the only thing that hits it for weakness in the deck, but that 330, that's going to be heavily reliant on the Regigigas being able to try and get there. The Registeel, though, doesn't really have that option. Think about the Registeel's attack. That is going to be limited. Kyurem, we saw Kyurem VMAX earlier, actually, against that Leafeon. The Leafeon does punish you with the Grass Knot, being able to say, you know what, you're going to take more damage because you do have a high retreat cost. That actually works against the Registeel, because the Registeel Heavy Slam wants a big difference in retreat cost, and that damage is reduced by the higher retreat cost on the Kyurem, so not able to just punish that with easy knockouts. That, for me, puts the onus on the Regigigas. The Regigigas has to swing, try and hit those 300s, but with 330 hit points available on that Kyurem VMAX, it's got to be a belt angle.
Are you saying we're not going to see Air Balloon on this Kyurem this time around?
Well, speaking of Air Balloons, there is one of them in the prizes. That is a pretty mixed bag there for both trainers, a Kyurem VMAX, Kyurem V, and an Origin Form Palkia V for Michael. But then, definitely a tougher set of prizes for Grant here. A Reg Ice, a Regigigas, one of those Gift Energy, Marnie, Yellhorn, and Path to the Peaks. So that is
Yellhorn.
The Yellhorn. This is going to be a one-of. Could be something to slow it down. I've only played with the Yellhorn once myself, and it was always very frustrating to play with and play against. But it's going to be Michael
Did you win
Lee's
that theme deck tournament?
Yes, I did actually.
Good, congratulations.
I felt really good about myself. I don't want to tell you what deck I put it in, but it's a small steel ant that I definitely had a lot of fun with. Anyway, back to decks that actually matter. It's going to be Michael Lee's starting it off. The Kyurem V in the active, the Oranguru down on the bench with the Primate Wisdom, and Ultra Ball heading into the deck to pick out a Pokemon of his choice. I imagine he's going to start probably going for something like that Palkia, get that set up so he is going to be able to play it a little bit more. Oh, he's going for the Crobat. That makes sense if his hand is a little bit lacking. Could just find another one of those, Ultra Balls, Quick Balls, be able to get there. Nicely discarding as well the Choice Belt and the Water Energy. Don't need the Choice Belt here, and definitely, can be a little bit more liberal with the Water Energy as well.
Yep, Battle VIP Pass has to be a card you're thinking of in a situation like this. You play 3 for a reason, not 4, so hopefully finding one at an opportune time.
Oh, very
one more. No.
Yeah, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's all we need on there. Does have the Lost City in hand. We were talking about it before this game, actually. Lost City against Regis. Is it impactful? Obviously, it's no use right now. He's not going to be able to take a knockout and immediately throw something in that Lost Zone for Grant. But it's certainly an option to hold on to. Maybe try and punish late on. And obviously, we know that the Regice is stuck there in the prizes. So if he can get rid of one, he may be able to block him from getting the other one, depending on how he plays with something like the Hisuian Heavy Ball. Michael back to the Capacious Bucket, though, just grabbing some energy while he's in there as well.
Yep, we did see the Quick Ball, I believe, in the hand, so we could potentially see Radiant Greninja as a card being targeted soon. Just continue this draw, maybe work your way to one of those Battle VIP passes or some additional Pokemon.
Looks like we've got a player stepping away from the table very, very briefly.
I think we broke a sleeve.
Yeah, looks like there's going to be the issue there. So a replacement coming through, I have to imagine, being able to just make sure that deck is in good order. And it happens. It's a totally normal part of tournament play. Oh, he's ready. Look.
Yes. Oh, yeah, you have to be. This is we came prepared.
Imagine the audacity of being a player who turns up with just 60 sleeves to a tournament.
I'm not ready for an 8-minute re-sleeve here. I can't do it.
No, well, it is going to be that highly valuable, highly important in this matchup. Choice Belt getting re-sleeved, it appears. So there's a Capacious Bucket being resolved. There's 2 Water Energy coming through. And they're going in the hand. Michael definitely going back in with this one as one of those Water Energy immediately get rid of with the Quick Ball.
Yep. That's oh, yeah, this is also a good talking point.
Yes, the Emperor's Eyes, the ability on Empoleon V. That is going to mean that any basic without a rule box does not have an ability. Of course, it does need to be in the active, but When you get that in the active, that means that Regigigas does not have access to use its key and essential ability here in this game. So being able to shut that out would be absolutely huge. No Ancient Wisdom means no energy acceleration. Yeah, I'm not so concerned about the Empoleon being the damage output, but honestly, Swirling Slice could start getting some knockouts here. These are very frail Pokemon, definitely get taken down.
Yeah, we've seen in a lot of the decks that include this Empoleon V, they have an issue where they don't have enough energies to continually Swirling Slice like 8 times and take all the prizes that they need to close out. But this is a deck that can do it. You see the training courts in play and the Palkia V-Star that can get those energies back into play. You can find ways to manipulate the damage, the energies, and get those back onto an Empoleon, or just work in a final attacker to close things out.
Well, Gran, as you have to do on these opening turns with the Regigigas deck, needs to find the rest of the Regis. It is going to be the capture energy down onto Regieleki. That's going to help grab that Reg Ice. That Reg Ice could be important. That Blizzard Bind potentially being able to slow things down for pretty much everything over on Michael's side of the field. I don't know if he has many attackers that aren't going to be a V, so maybe the Radiant Greninja, the only option there. We didn't even see that one go down as Regieleki does get the choice belt, isn't going to be able to really activate it right now. And a Professor's Research to keep on digging. There was a follow-up Quick Ball. That grabs the Regidrago. But after that Professor's Research, I mean, that Regidrago, first of all, isn't going to be in the active. And even if it was, Dragon's Horde is a long, long way away.
Yeah, see a ton of energies into the hand, and that's just not exactly what you want to see right here. Maybe some additional Pokemon would help out. This is also a Pokemon that doesn't have a Regigate, just going to be using Static Shock here to get some damage onto the Kyurem V.
Yeah, very underwhelming start there for Grant Manley, not being able to put down really enough of those Regis that he needs, only getting halfway there, which for a Regi player is certainly a little bit difficult. So the Irida coming through for Michael, being able to just keep things going. He did evolve into the Kyurem VMAX as well, so things are going pretty well for this deck. And of course, once he does get that Kyurem VMAX set up, he doesn't even have to start discarding that many energy to use the attack to get those knockouts.
Yeah, we can see Glaciated World will be available as early as this turn. The Oranguru is there, the energy in hand as well. Energy retrieval, just thinking of some additional opportunities, and this is where things get interesting. We could see some early attack power, and if Grant doesn't start to find additional Regi Pokemon and get them onto the bench, we could just see continually bring up a Regi pass and watch prize cards fall left and right.
This could be a really rough game, but there, of course, is the Primate Wisdom. There's going to be the Water Energy going onto the top. The Battle VIP pass comes in the hand, not what you need. Oh, but look, Glaciated World. What a surprise.
Honestly, didn't even look. That's so impressive.
Some people just know. They don't know the deck. Well, it is going to be the start of the Lost City combination here. This is going to be probably the longest way around to do it, with Regieleki now being widely considered a 3-of when it comes to building these Regi decks. But one of them is taken away, so it's going to be down to 2 for the foreseeable future. The onus definitely on Grant to be able to try and deal with that. Grant just stuck with Regidrago. Dragon's Horde nowhere close to being useful right now. As a Trekking Shoes comes through, doesn't really help him out. And he's got, I mean, he can discard 2 Aurora Energy, get another Regi out, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like, that's probably one of the best cards to find. And then you look at the hand and go, oh, well, this doesn't really help thin for Dragon's Horde, but at least it is a Pokemon, so you have to at least be happy with that. But I think the rest of this hand we're going to see just researched pretty soon, and then it's going to have to be a lot of nice cards off the top.
It's going to have to be a massive research. That is my big concern, is Grant is expending a lot of resources. Only a little bit of energy in the discard. I mean, that capture energy that was attached does go in there as well. And don't forget, he did throw away one of those choice belts. Those choice belts, if it's a Regigigas angle in this game, are going to be so important to hit the 330. Of course, this one's been softened up very, very nicely by that Regieleki, but we're still so far away from Regigigas being able to attack with the Gigaton Break.
Oh, I'm looking forward this turn. Come on.
All
One
right.
time. You see the scoop up net? Is this something you just go for and believe in?
I don't know about this one. He's
Here
going.
we go.
Okay, well, this is actually a full send from Grant Manley, being able to draw through. There's a Registeel. There's another Regidrago.
That's not it, Chief.
I'm trying to be positive here, Kyle. I'm trying to believe in this one. This was the deck that I really enjoyed coming into this. Yeah, I mean, you got 3 more Regis to go, and you've got one of them.
He got 3 Reggies. Just not the right ones.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. 2 duplicates, the Registeel and the Regidrago, both coming out in pairs now. The Aurora Energy being attached there to the Registeel.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
could be
the angle. That's the scoop up net. Save that for later.
Gate.
Well, I think he knows at this point as well that the Regigigas is going to be his one of, so we can't leave that in the active in case there is, potentially a way for another Lost City to come down and then go for it. But yeah, the Regigate, he needs a Regirock and he needs another Regieleki as well. So still plenty to go here. And as you can see on the screen, as we were talking about earlier, Heavy Slam, 220 minus 50 for each retreat cost that they have energy in their, retreat cost. That Kyurem, that's 3 for the retreat cost. That's going to bring it down to 70. Even with weakness, that's 140, and that's still not a 2-hit knockout. So it could be 140, 170 if you get the belt back in play for the 2-hit knockout, but that's a lot going your way.
Yeah, that's not a lot. And we saw the debate there for the Regieleki, potentially eyeing up the electromagnetic sonar Regieleki, instead going to go with the classic Static Shock one.
Well, it goes back over to Michael, discarding the Battle VIP pass and Water Energy for a Ultra Ball. He's just consistently getting pieces that he needs. Hasn't even set up a Palkia this game. It's just completely committed to that Kyurem VMAX, which I think makes a lot of sense. Does have a lot more health, does pose a lot more of a challenge to knock out for Grant. Doesn't have access to, try and keep him completely out the game with these Lost Cities right now. But there's a Capacious Bucket, being able to grab another 2 Water Energy. Could just set another one of those up.
Yeah, you can set up the 8 prize game. It's it's almost forbidden at this point. It's such a sneaky thing to come up. But yeah, the 3 from the Kyurem VMAX, then sneaking that Empoleon V into play, and then working through another 330 hit points. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like we've got some more concerns with the sleeve. There it is.
I mean, you've been playing 4 rounds already. These Pokemon have been through it.
I think this should have been a beginning of the day resleeve. I think that's maybe it's just me, but I've always thought you put new sleeves on at the beginning of a tournament day.
Okay, Mr. Moneybags. some people have to continue to play with the ones they got.
Would you like me to gift you some sleeves, Kyle?
Please help me.
Okay, next tournament we play together, I'll bring you a box of sleeves.
Yes.
I get to choose the color, though.
That's fine.
Anyway, back to the gameplay. As that little issue has been resolved, there is going to be some more Primate Wisdom. Water Energy going down onto the second Kyurem VMAX. Yeah, it's just going to be a discard of 1 to make sure that he gets over that little bit extra damage required. And it's another knockout for Michael Lees. So already in the lead of the prize trade. And that's going to be, there's the Regirock.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Right off the top. He does have the Ordinary Rod in hand as well, but he's missing some pieces.
Well, I guess there's a little debate of Speed Lightning Energy. Do you work that in early? Do you just draw with Dragon's Horde first?
Yep.
Well, I'm sure Grant knows all about the micro decisions here.
I mean, these are definitely micro decisions, being able to choose what to put in as the Drago and the Registeel head back into the deck for Grant Manley, thanks to that Ordinary Rod. He is going to have access to Dragon's Horde this turn. Does have a much thinner hand than last time this Regidrago was stuck in the active. Regirock goes down, Registeel goes down as well, and there it is. There's the Dragon's Horde for 3.
Yep, not too shabby. I think we saw the scoop up net, so that means that the Regigigas will be available. I don't know if we see the Twin Energy to help things out here.
No, we do not.
That makes it a little more awkward then, doesn't it?
Yes, that does mean that the energy requirement for Gigaton Break is going to be a little bit out of reach without some of those energies that provide multiple at the same time. Of course, there's the manual attach with the Speed Lightning, maybe trying to draw into a way to discard. There it is. There's the Choice Belt that may be able to help out, but I just don't see a way to get this really going on this turn.
Yeah, I think maybe we start to see Grant work towards that Regi Ice, just trying to make this a little tougher by using that second attack there and just starting to manipulate which V is attacking you here.
Yeah, it is going to be one of the sort of limiting options, making this Kyurem a little bit tougher to get through. That Blizzard Bind means 100 damage, but it can't attack next turn. So, Michael will be really easy able to set up this Kyurem with just another energy. Just one energy discard, just keep going. But now he can't attack. He now has to pivot into the other Kyurem potentially, which doesn't have enough energy to really get going this turn. So Kyurem VMAX shut out, the one in the active, on this turn.
And how awkward the early play of the Lost City actually being an issue now, as this path is sticking, and we're not seeing Glaciated World getting these energies accelerated.
Yeah, no Glaciated World is certainly a problem.
There's just 2 energies on the active.
And a pass?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it goes back over to Grant, being able to just sort of keep doing what he's doing. I mean, he could really slow this game down, because at some point he's going to take 3 prizes. At some point he's going to have access to 3 prizes, and that's going to swing the game very quickly in his favor. So mulling over the hand does have a Hisuian Heavy Ball. He knows, of course, what's in the prizes at this time. So if he needs to grab one of those 2 Regis that is in there, then he's going to be able to grab that one when he needs it. If something like the Regigigas gets knocked out, bam, Hisuian Heavy Ball, go grab it. We're right back in business.
Yep, nice to have those options available, and sometimes you don't need options, you just need to announce an attack, because it's working.
Blizzard Bind, taking it up to 250 damage on this Kyurem VMAX. One more will get the knockout, unless there's a way he's able to heal that. Oh, another Lost City coming off the top with the Primate Wisdom. This could cause some problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice because it means that you can at least start to work in Glaciated World, but we're still looking at the awkwardness of having to get yourself out of the active spot right here and have an additional attacker ready.
Well, there is the world, of course, where you just, go for it and take out this Regice and hope that there's no retaliation. But, ooh, it looks like he's just giving up this Kyurem VMAX at the, the end of the turn. It's not really got many options.
Yep, not working towards that Empoleon V as well. Meaning that the prize exchange starts to get awkward too. 3 prize cards down, and then you're going to attack with a VMAX once more. And a 6 prize game isn't very clean, is it?
It's not as troublesome. Grant showing off that Hisuian Heavy Ball. Actually, what he takes off this Hisuian Heavy Ball could be really big, because it does. Oh, he knows the Regice is his angle. We knew the Regice was in there, and yeah, just grab one of those. Make sure you can just keep going with this Blizzard Bind, which Michael seems to have no answer for right now.
Yeah, it's gonna walk right into a big knockout, and we're gonna see Michael's strategy following that. The problem is your opponent's taken 3 prizes, and once Reggie takes a prize lead, it's hard to see that switch in the other direction.
Yeah, the Reggie needs to miss a lot of turns, and it looks like we're going to see Grant charging up when the Regigigas going for it once again. This time he's mulling over where to put them. Yeah, he's throwing them down on the Regigigas, so he's saving that. Obviously you knock out this VMAX on this turn. The Kyurem VMAX does get felled by the Blizzard Bind, and then obviously one's going to come up into the active. It's the only attacker Michael has left. Bam! Even if he knocks out the Reg Ice, the Regigigas is just ready to go, because missing those energies that require multiples, he's now just sort of set up for the following turn.
Yep, we can see that a boss's orders would be a nice card here. And Grant is thinking about that by not playing the choice belt down just yet. And sure enough, Michael says, Luminion, get in there. I need you to get the job done. And going to target the Regielekis, get 2 into the Lost Zone and hope never to see a third.
Well, this is the gamble that Michael's taking, right? Is he's saying, you know what? I don't think you have access to another Regieleki, and this is something that a lot of players have debated for a long, long time.
Well,
of all the Regis to put in the Lost Zone,
he's half right.
Yeah,
he doesn't have access to that Regieleki, but he plays the other one.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big thing. Is the Regieleki has been something frequently played in 3s. The Regigigas is probably the one you really want to get in that Lost Zone, but at least if you've already got one in, you didn't really have a choice earlier on, hey, why not go for it? There is, of course, going to be that Glaciated World now that we've bumped that path to the peak, but, being able to solve those problems, there's 2 in there. Do we think he knows? It's in the hand.
We're going to find out really soon, aren't we?
He's about to learn real quick as, a manual retreat
there it is.
Into this Regigigas. The Path of the Peak's not there, and the Lost City just means a knockout, back-to-back knockouts on Kyurem VMAXs. Grant Manley swings this game so nicely. What a fantastic line of play.
Yeah, being able to one-hit KO a Kyurem VMAX is probably going to win games, and sure enough, it did. Grant understanding exactly what needed to be done there, working in that rigid ice early on, and then you could just see the strategy just didn't really line up for Michael there. Trying to use that Lost City, target down one specific Reggie, and then not really getting to use that Empoleon to full effect.
Well, I think what's interesting about Michael's line of play at the end there is he does, of course, summon up that Regieleki, right? And that's fine. But the problem is you know, you knew that the Regigigas was the impending threat.
What were you more scared of?
I mean, like, yes, it would be really cool if you could. I see the logic, right? And I do understand to say, you know what, I don't think you have a third Regieleki. Well, unfortunately, he did. But even at, at the end of the day, the scariest card was still that already half-powered Regigigas.
I guess the good thing to note here is that that was a fair amount of time for Game 1, nothing too crazy. There's plenty of time for a Game 2 and potential Game 3, and Michael now has that information to work with.
Yeah.
So just understanding that that strategy is not going to work out, and maybe trying to target the Regigigas or the Reggie Ice, as we saw, as that was such a prominent attacker in the early stages, has to be something on his mind.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that Michael has a couple Lost Cities in there as well, they don't stick around for that long. So what can be really big here is making sure that they are hugely impactful, right? Being able to grab, I like the Reg Ice a lot, that caused so many problems with the Blizzard Bind. V's can't attack the next turn. He doesn't have, this Kyurem deck isn't super switchy, heavy, it's not like you can just quickly scoop up net a Kyurem VMAX, it's just not an option. So I think you've got to pick a Reggie that you really, really dislike, that there's only 2 of, and then make sure you lost zone those. But looking at the prizes, a couple of Aurora Energy and a Twin Energy going into the prizes for Grant. And one of those cards we think is very impactful here, the Lost City and the Training Core, stuck at the top of the prizes for Michael Lees. I really do think this is about to get a little bit sticky for him because Path of the Peak could sit in play for a long, long time.
Wow. Michael just walking into the Buzzsaw air balloon against a Registeel. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, this is fine.
I don't think losing the Oranguru is something he's too concerned about. But it looks like Michael will be going for it. His Grant went second, so that's actually pretty good for the Reggie player sometimes. If they can hit everything, I'm looking at Grant's hand. I don't think he has it, but I'm just trying to be hopeful for a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to be positive for a change.
Good things could come.
Yeah, well, there's the Empoleon V again.
That's a good thing.
Do you think it's going to come out? Do you think we need it in this matchup?
If an energy went there, I'd be really happy.
Yeah, I do find it strange that Michael put it down, said, I've got it, and then didn't use it.
Yeah, it's like a boogie monster. just having it around is intimidating enough.
Yeah, but now is a really good time for it to go there. Yep, there's the attachment. The Oranguru going to be able to draw him into the Minion. That's a nice card to grab early on.
Yeah, and to put the Melanie on top too, to be Marnie proof right here. That's going to be really nice.
Yeah, well, there's the retreat, and Emperor's Eyes is now active. Empoleon V is just going to be sat there, being able to limit the options from Grant's side, but his hand is looking a little bit bleak right now. His best supporter and only supporter is the Marnie. So that Marnie does give Michael actually more cards at the end of the turn.
And he has the best card on top.
Yes.
Whoa, looky there.
Wow. Oh, okay. 2 supporters, 2 energy. Melanie and Irida, and then, of course, water energy, and unsurprisingly, water energy. Things continue for Grant, though, as his hand's looking a little bit nicer now. He's finding some alternative options here. The Regigigas hitting the bench. There has been a Trekking Shoes as well. But once again, at the end of Grant's first turn, it looks like he's only halfway through the combo. As, Reggie Gate is required. That's going to be, one more piece. But it's definitely the slowest way to fill out your bench.
Yep, we do see at least the gift energy available, so going to be able to get the hand a little larger if we do see a big Empoleon V attacking here, and likely that is probably what's going to line up here for Michael. Just a really impressive opening start, and this is exactly what you dream of when you're playing against Reggies. Just get that early pressure with the Empoleon, and hopefully your opponent just doesn't find a way to get a Regigigas going. Yeah,
and Swirling Slice, yes, you do have to move the energy around, but at least, it's, once you get it going, you do get yourself a lot of breathing room with the Emperor's Eyes active. And honestly, Michael having all this energy in the hand feels pretty good.
It's a nice place to have him. Having one in the discard pile, even nicer.
Yeah, and obviously being able to know exactly where your energy is very helpful. It's going to be a nice, easy pass. There's a Crobat if he wants more cards in the hand as well. But Melanie, oh look, it's the water energy that you put there earlier. Goes down onto the Empoleon. Gets to draw 3 cards. And just one more. And we are going to have access to Swirling Slice, doing 130 damage. guess what? That's exactly what you need to knock out a Registeel.
Yeah, it works out pretty well here, being able to take the knockout on this Pokemon. Already seeing the energy for next turn in the boss's orders if you want to target down a specific Reggie. So this looks to be a really strong opener here in game number 2 for Michael.
Well, he's drawing more cards with that Dark Asset off the Crobat V. And also the Swelling Slice, yes, it's sometimes annoying that you have to move the energy around, but I do genuinely think that, you know what, if you can just start powering up these Curums, then you'll be fine if you do need to pivot over to those later, if Empoleon doesn't get you enough. But another card back on top. Ooh, the Battle VIP pass on turn number 2. We don't like that one.
Nope.
But anyway, it's going to be a Swelling Slice. Moving that. Registeel goes in there, and yeah, Grant picking up those cards with the gift energy. It did look like he picked up some cards for anything that happened, but you know what? He gets to draw up to 7 because of that knockout there, and that's going to be big because he definitely needs to see more cards.
Yep, and of course we see the Regigigas promotion because of the additional hit points going to be really helpful here against the Swirling Slice. Maybe buy that additional turn that you're looking for.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need it, but there are definitely, you know, it's all well and good having it in the active, but if it's not doing anything, if it's not activating its ability in Ancient Wisdom, is it worth leaving it there?
Yeah, it doesn't feel the best, but at this point you're just trying to buy some time. You understand that your opponent still is on a clock. They need to find energy every turn, and if you're making your opponent have to do that and continually burning through the top, that's eventually they could potentially miss, and that's when you have a big turn lineup with the boss's orders.
Yeah, well, there's the Registeel getting fished out by that Ultra Ball. There is going to be a Regieleki thrown away. A Capture Energy, so we can keep getting Regis coming through. The Registeel we know is in hand. The Reg Ice coming down onto the bench. So that is just going to be one more required in the Regirock. It's going to be pretty easy to get it when you land a Quick Ball as well. Throwing away a Twin Energy, something that Grant did struggle with in game number 1. I mean, you know, had to play out that couple turns. Could have probably accelerated the game a little bit faster if he had access to Twin Energy. But those 5s, way easier to hit when you have a card that, you know, gives you 2 energy at once.
Yeah, that's a nice one to find early, get it in the discard pile. Yeah, you're not able to use Ancient Wisdom right now, but eventually it will line up and your Regigigas will be able to start working in some plays. No high five, gonna just draw 7 fresh cards here. And I think we did see that path to the peak.
Yeah, there's a path to the peak that is going to cause all kinds of problems. As soon as that comes into play, the Empoleon V obviously not able to be particularly useful in the same way. You know, it's got a rule box, it's a V, and it's not going to be able to use its ability, Emperor's Eyes. That does, of course, mean that Ancient Wisdom is available, but it's not there right now for Grant as he passes over, you know, just assuming that he's not going to be able to do exactly what he needs to do here.
Yeah, I think Grant is looking for potentially the Aurora energies to work in a different attacker and just doesn't have those yet, so going to hold out.
Yeah, well, it's going to be concealed cards, and that's going to be the Wash energy being thrown away with that. Oh, we were talking about him needing energy in the hand.
Are they there?
They're not there. There's a Capacious Bucket, though.
Oh, that works well.
That's going to be a pretty easy way to do it. Yeah, he's bossing up the Reg Ice here. That's going to be pretty nice. And yeah, if he needs pieces, he's definitely got access to them for you know, more down the line. The Primate Wisdom, throwing that back. And Swirling Slice takes a knockout on the Reg Ice.
Yeah, so clean to just have that Melanie on the top of the deck once more. We see the Capacious Bucket in hand, so could potentially go through and find that later on. Don't want to give that information away to your opponent just yet in case Marnie's coming, but you're definitely prepared.
Yep, there's a lot of pretty consistent play coming through from Michael here. Is setting up on those Kyurem Vs as well. Needs to get that to potentially 3 energy, so it can then make the play with its attack, you know, discarding 1. It's kind of the same thing as the Empoleon, right? You just need to discard or move 1 every single turn and then go from there. But Grant, after dropping a couple of Regis early, is forced into that that early Ordinary Rod and put the Registeel and the Reg Ice back in the deck, as they've not been taken away with the Lost City, which Michael hasn't had access to yet.
Yep. And we were looking for that Lost City to be impactful in this game, potentially if it were a card that removed Path to the Peak, and this looks like this might be the opportunity where Grant is going to have to use a Path to the Peak in order to start working in some knockouts. And if you're putting a Pokemon like one of these Regis into the Lost Zone and removing the Path all in the same turn, that's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of value out of one single stadium card, which he does only play a couple copies of as well. But he has to complete the combo before he can even start thinking about knockouts in this turn. It would be very easy to level up the prize trade on this one if he can make sure the Aurora energy is in there. That Reggie Alecki requiring a couple of lightning energies to be able to do it. And I just don't know if all the pieces are there for him right now. So here comes the Reg Ice, I imagine. It's going to be going down. There's the combo. It's complete. He has access to the Regigigas. Just has to be careful as the quick ball gets rid of the Hisuian heavy ball. So it looks like he's just shuffling through on this one. What's the Dragon's Horde first?
Yeah, get that one card into the hand. Maybe find the Aurora energy. Wouldn't that be something?
Let's see it. He gets to draw 2 because he is going to play down the path to the peak. So Emperor's Eyes is no longer a factor. And he's going for it right away. That Regigigas going and grabbing energy out of the deck. This is going to be a gift energy going down onto the Regidrago. And that's it for this turn, I think. Oh, there's the twin. He's allowed to play that too. He's got more room to go. But it doesn't look like he's pulling it out the discard as, yeah. Scoop up Nat.
Oh, this is cute.
Oh, this is very cute. Get the Regigigas back down. Dragon's Horde for 3. Oh, there's a Speed. Speed Lightning. Still feeling a little light on Aurora energy.
Just a little.
Yeah, just not what we want. I mean, one of them, 2 of them, I believe, are in the discard. So it's going to be hard for Grant to find them in this game. He's going for a second Ancient Wisdom. He's totally allowed to do that. A capture energy going on there. He's going for it. There's the choice belt. There's the research into the Speed Lightning energy going down. So he again has access to Ancient Wisdom. He's just thinning this hand out like an absolute madman. Being able to play around that. But he's desperately trying to find Aurora energy, and they have not come to the fore yet.
Yeah, just another gift energy off of 7 cards. It's not what you're looking for.
It's coming. Oh, I like this. I'm watching Grant mull this one over. It's time. It's the Yellhorn, Kyle. Okay, so Yellhorn, both active Pokemon are now confused. Basically just instilling a coin flip between every single turn. And while this Empoleon's been kind of running away with the game, if it misses an attack, that could be a window for Grant to get back into this one.
Yep, just making your opponent have the right cards at the right time. That's what you need to do in a situation like this.
Well, I mean, it's going to be a retreat, so the Yellhorn not impactful over onto the side of Grant Manley. And this Regice coming to the front, but not able to attack. Doesn't have the requisite energy for the Blizzard Bind. It just, it's just got a twin energy and a gift energy on it.
Yeah, I think the twin energy is just to make you feel nice, and the gift energy is a little more helpful.
Yeah, the gift energy at least gets him cards. If he gets knocked out, which he might not, because, of course, there is still a world where the Empoleon V is unable to attack. But those Swirling Slice knockouts are going to keep adding up if Michael is able to connect with them.
Yep, just being able to retreat if your opponent does actually have to go for the flip for confusion feels good. So you can certainly see where Grant is going with this. But you have to think that Michael isn't going to be taking any risks in a situation like this. Already up 2 prize cards. Good work in another attack here. Potentially knocking out this Regice. But the big issue you're staring at is that Regigigas with the choice belt could be lined up to take a big KO soon.
Yeah, the Regigigas is actually the one that doesn't require any of these specific energies, such as the Aurora, is just able to attack for all colorless. And, if you knock out the Regice, you throw the twin energy back in there. And that's going to be really easy for making sure that you can hit that requirement for the Gigaton break. Melanie, though, make sure that more water energy hitting the board for Michael. He's going to be checking the discard of Grant. See if there's anything you can really punish him with. Maybe if something's in the discard, and he can knock out the other one. Maybe make a Lost City play. That would be interesting. He's got a pretty big old hand. But, goes Air Balloon. That goes down with the Empoleon. Getting that out of the active, not messing around with the confusion flip is really big. Concealed cards, not an option for him there.
Good
yeah, there is a rule box, easily to take that one back and fix the game state.
Yep.
We'd like to see that.
Yeah, Grant very fast on his feet, being able to identify that before cards were drawn so that both players can preserve this game state and keep on playing. Love to see that.
Yeah, nice and honest. I don't think there's any reason to try and go for it with your opponent. If they make an honest mistake like that, just catch it, and we can move on. It happens.
We'll see what else is lined up here. Do you just go for a Frost Smash so you only have to give up 2 prize cards potentially?
I mean, it's definitely an option, and you don't have to mess around with those energies either. You don't have to reach with the energy. The gift energy, of course, activated by Grant Manley there, as he's able to draw his hand right back up to 7, but he does, of course, give up another prize in that Regice, and that is something that he is going to be forced to do. No Emperor's Eyes to be worrying about this turn, so Regigigas could easily just come into the 4 here and start trying to get some big damage down. As long as he can find another Reg Ice, the Regigigas does need its full complement of friends.
Well, this is one Pokemon that's pretty awkward to attack at this point. It's not a VMAX, so Regigigas doesn't look very strong here. 220 hit points is still a really high number, and you're not really able to work on that weakness with the Registeel because the retreat cost is so high.
No, I mean, this is also another Pokemon, the Regidrago, that really isn't able to get in a game that easily without the Aurora energy. The problem is the only thing that Regigigas can hit, or wants to hit, is the Kyurem VMAX. It's the only thing that can really get going. There is an Aurora energy in the hand now, so if he can find a way to get rid of that, that could help out quite significantly, but, you know, is there going to be an easy way to do it? This Regidrago has, of course, a bit of a retreat cost to work through, so even with the Air Balloon, you'd still be able to get rid of the Aurora energy and get that into the right spot. But there's the Choice Belt being discarded as a result of it. Thinking, of course, that Michael's not going to be evolving into the VMAX. He is just going to be able to, you know, play without those.
Well, you can see the debate here. It looks like the Marnie might be the next choice, and then you'd have to find the Aurora energy and a way to get it into the discard pile if you want to get a good attack off at this stage.
Well, he can retreat the Regidrago. Even with the Air Balloon, he still needs to discard 1. So he gets the Aurora energy into the discard. Then he goes for the Ancient Wisdom. So he's able to grab, the Speed Lightning along with the Aurora means that he is going to be able to swing with this Regieleki. And of course spread some damage around as well with that Terra Spark.
Yep, not taking a knockout, but able to soften up some of these Pokemon. Certainly going to be helpful here. Of course, holding on to that gift energy always feels good too. Just any additional cards you can find with this deck, you have to be excited to see that.
Yep, I mean, Grant's hand is definitely a little bit rocky at the current moment. He's holding on to 2 Paths to the Peak, and it doesn't look like Michael has an immediate option to, you know, bump that. Speaking of, you know, hands, there's a lot of stuff in Michael's hand, and not a lot of it seems to be what he wants to play at this current moment in time.
Yeah, I guess there's a debate you can see in his head with that Kyurem VMAX, and gonna go ahead and work that into the mix. It makes sense. You can see the prize exchange right now with 3 prizes remaining. You just work in 1 knockout with this Pokemon, 1 more with a V, and then maybe clean up with that final Kyurem or Kyurem VMAX, and you can close this game out.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. The Kyurem V already took damage, so it's not like you're being able to hold on by, you know, taking that away from the Regigigas. You're just going to get knocked out in the following turn, assuming Grant can complete the combo again, which he seems to be doing pretty consistently. So, yes, the Kyurem VMAX, you're better off just guaranteeing the knockout here and forcing Grant into one of those tough decisions. You don't know, of course, that he has the next Regieleki in hand, but, you know, you are going to be able to at least cause some problems there. And that means the prize trade starts to swing really generously as Grant closes in on these big, big knockouts.
Looks like just that 1 basic water energy left in the deck. So resources starting to get slim.
It's definitely slim pickings in the deck for Michael. He's got so many of those resources in his hand, and he's sort of got everything set up that he needs. You know, just has to be careful on exactly how he plays down everything. Can't be giving up too many great options. And as a quick ball, discards that water energy, and it's just going to be a shuffle for Michael, knowing that there's nothing in there. Just wants the hand a little bit thinner.
Yeah, and at this point, you have to start thinking about time. If you're trying to work in a game 3 potentially, it looks like you have a board state that's strong enough at this stage to potentially close out game number 2, but now you have to play with some speed.
Well, that quick ball came in handy as the Melanie grabs the water energy that it discarded and attaches that to the Kyurem V. So this is going to be Michael's big turn. He's got a training court in hand, and that's not the stadium he'd probably want to see right now. I do still think that the Lost City is a great angle for him, but it's just not one of those many, many cards in hand.
Yeah, maybe.
At least he can bump Path. That's something.
Yeah, it's nice, I guess, if you can work in the Glaciated World with the play, but we've already seen the Oranguru used, so
yeah,
makes This is a little more awkward, but maybe just thinking about potential Marnie or something getting in the way.
Yeah, well, there is going to be it looks like it's going to be a retreat of
Okay.
that Kyurem. That's a big play. Obviously knows it could very easily get knocked out the next turn, so you may as well get the knockout with something that only offers up 2 prizes. So it is going to be Swirling Slice, exactly what you need, and of course moving the energy over onto the Kyurem V that's only taken 40 damage.
Yeah, going to have this Empoleon out now and just taking a risk, hoping that the path to the peak isn't available, but we know Grant's holding on to 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's the right angle, but I think Grant has the response that he needs. With 2 paths to the peak, easily going to get rid of that training court. Does need to find, of course, that last piece, which he has in hand. Never mind. No anticipation to be built there, Kyle.
Well, this is a big opportunity right now for Grant. If he's able to get the attack off with this Regigigas and take the knockout, doing 180 damage right now with that belt. Seems like that is lined up for a KO on the Empoleon V, and then there is no return knockout lined up on the other side because it's just that Kyurem V doing 140.
Yeah, I mean, the Kyurem V would have to evolve into the Kyurem V Max, and then you're risking giving up those 3 prizes, which, based on the outcome of the last turn, I think Michael is very scared and very respectful of. But it would push him in range of, that single knockout. He does need to find a way to kind of promptly accelerate energy, maybe to close out. Let's say he takes the knockout this turn or the following turn. He's still going to be clinging on to that 1 prize, and that is going to be something that he needs to be conscious of. That is, of course, a very impactful Marnie as well. The Grant played down definitely helps him out a little bit, and there is going to be a lack of ability to, really fire back. There was a huge hand that Michael has as there. Empoleon V finally knocked out, and 2 prizes for Grant Manley here. It means he frees up one of the Aurora energy too, which is really big for him.
Yeah, that's a huge knockout there. Emperor's Eyes not available because of that path to the peak. Regigigas coming in with that Gigaton break, taking a big knockout here, and it is really up to Michael's hand to keep him in this game right now. Gonna have to find at least that Kyurem VMAX and potentially some energies to set up one final attacker to close out the game.
Yeah, well, he is going to get his choice of what to attack into too. I believe there's boss's orders in the hand. Does have the Lost City now, so could try that line where he just locks Grant out the game. But honestly, I think Grant set this one up so nicely. Like you said, though, if he puts that Kyurem VMAX up, he doesn't have an Ultra Ball, so he would be able to go and get it. But what does he do after that? Because then at that point, all Grant needs to do is find another Regigigas, something that this deck is notoriously good at doing, and then he can either lock him out, maybe go for the knockouts. It definitely becomes really easy at that point. So the energy retrieval certainly helping out a little bit there, being able to cause some problems.
Yeah, I think just the way that you have to work this out, having multiple energy on the Kyurem V Max, and then being able to either cash in with the boss's orders right now on a 1-prize Pokemon, or on a Pokemon with 130 HP or less.
Yeah, well, there is the Quick Ball going into the hand. Not something he needs this turn so much, but there's the Kyurem V coming to the fore. It's not going to be enough to knock out this Regigigas, so he is switching it up to that Reg Ice, saying, you know what, I think I'll just take that and get rid of that. No Lost City combo, though, so it's going to be available for Grant later in the game, and another Lost City drawn off the prizes. Michael Lease 1 prize away from the game right now.
Yeah, Michael valuing knowing what the top card of his deck is, as opposed to getting that Lost City in and then working in an additional energy by way of Glaciated World onto that bench Kyurem. We'll see if that has an impact here. Grant's going to try to take advantage of this opportunity where he can only leave maybe 1 energy in play for his opponent.
Yeah, it's going to be big, and as Kyurem V obviously doesn't have the easy way of taking that hit. If it evolved, it would have just got Gigaton braked. So really a sticky situation, and the big concern there is, yes, you got rid of the Reg Eyes, but you left all the energy that was on the Regigigas in play, so it just comes up and swings for that big knockout, taking another 2 prizes. Honestly, if he can't get rid of this Regigigas this turn, it's just going to be an easy swing back into this heavily damaged Kyurem V Max. There's the Quick Ball. So being able to start digging through the deck, get the Lumineon out potentially, make a play around that. Oh, it's going to be there's the Lumineon. Yep.
That's going to get the job done.
Get the Melanie.
We see the Melanie. The energy is there, and I think the energy. There's one energy in the hand as well. So that means that Kyurem VMAX is going to get the job done with a knockout on the active.
Yep.
And we're moving to game number 3 with 8.5 minutes to go.
I don't see game number 3 resolving. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Unless Grant can go absolutely crazy with this Regigigas and swing into some early Kyurem VMAXs.
Why would you do this to us?
I'm trying to be honest. You know, I don't want to lie to people at home. I think this has been a fantastic set. Both decks have shown their way around the matchup, but I do think that, you know, as is tradition with some of these single prize decks, it's going to be a tough one. Of course, I'm very willing to be proved wrong. I have no shame in admitting I am wrong if game 3 does resolve in time, but it's going to have to be a brisk one from one of these players.
Yeah, I will say that of all the matchups, this is one where we could see +3 turns make the difference, because Grant has the ability to take multiple prize card big one-hit knockouts over and over again, back to back. It just depends on if Michael plays into that, if Michael sees that this isn't going to work out, if he isn't able to just lock in that early Empoleon, then you could see Grant maybe come out with a victory with the prize cards. But
yeah, I think he's going to have to land. Like, he needs 2 Aurora energy in the discard turn number 1. I think that's kind of the big thing. And honestly, you know, that was the big slowdown for him in that previous game. So if he can hit that, I mean, he was so close to being able to push on. You know, an earlier knockout on something like the Empoleon with something like that Regieleki could be quite nasty, actually.
Yep. It's being able to sneak the Aleki in was really nice when just finding the energies wasn't happening. And we saw how important that damage was. Just having 40 on both those Pokemon really helped out with the Gigaton Break follow-up, dealing 180 damage for 2 knockouts.
Gigaton Break knockout without it being a VMAX, too.
Yeah.
That's the big difference maker there for me, is being able to put that damage down. I mean, it causes so many problems. Like, even if you miss the Choice Bell, that Kyurem VMAX with 40 on it is still going to get knocked out. You only need to do 290 at that point. Both trainers shuffling up, laying out those prizes nice and prompt. There's another... Oh, Lord.
No. Both of you guys, come on.
That is a rough beat for both of these trainers. 2 Aurora energy in the prizes for Grant Manley and 2 Kyurem VMAX in there for, that is going to be for Michael. We've opened with a Yell Horn.
Yeah, that is faced the correct way.
Yes, so we've opened with a Yell Horn, and once again, 3 Reggies in play for Grant at the end of the first turn. But he did go first, so this isn't the turn where he needs it. He needs it on this one. But this Palkia V is going to be stuck confused going into the end of this turn.
Yeah, this is an interesting tech that we've seen included in this deck. It certainly can be beneficial when you're playing against some of these Pokemon with the high retreat costs. Just put them in an awkward spot, make them have to have those resources, and especially against Empoleon too, just disrupting the continual attacks turn after turn can be huge.
Well, both players going a little bit brisker in this one, as the Capacious Bucket did get some energy in the hand for Michael, then decided to throw one of them away with the Quick Ball. No harm, no foul there, but no more search coming through as he does shuffle up the deck. It's got to be back and forth. It's got to be, if you want to win this game, I think both trainers are aware that there is not much time left in the round. So pace of play is going to be absolutely huge for them here. The deck is shuffled. There's the Melanie. So it's going to be discard the energy from the discard.
Wow.
A draw of 3. There we saw the Choice Belt. The Air Balloon gets it out. And the Emperor's Eyes is now active unless Grant has a path to the peak. So there's a Rangaroo going down. There's a Battle VIP Pass as well that he ripped off that Melanie. So get some more Pokemon down. I imagine we're going to see a Kyurem, maybe another Kyurem as well. They did seem to be very essential for him in that last game. As you've already got a Palkia.
Yeah, we see, of course we know that the 2 Kyurem VMAX are in the prize cards, so maybe just find out that one, but at this point, honestly, are you going to take
There's a Kyurem
full
V
deck
in there
search?
too.
Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like another Oranguru, double Primate Wisdom. Maybe something he needs to really help out. Make sure those top decks are just what you need every single turn.
Well, you can use one with Glaciated World and one to help with the following turn. You know that your opponent does play Marnies.
Not going to be many following turns with the timer running down.
What,
to
you
4
think we
minutes.
got, 2 more left?
Ooh, another Battle VIP Pass. Would be able to get that last Pokemon down, but what do you get that's really valuable at this point, right? Like, what is going to help you just power through this game?
Not Luminion.
Okay, not Lumineon.
Not Crobat.
Not Crobat.
I think we might pass.
Yeah, I think we'll just fail this one. That's looking tempting, but at least you get to count.
We know what's in the prize cards that we're not drawing.
He's got the other Kyurem, so at least he can set that up.
I could feel
Oh, he's going Palkia.
Grant on the other side just going, hurry up.
I think the intense stare is definitely helping your cause on that one too.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a big attack from Michael this turn. I mean, the energy requirements on anything outside of the Palkia, 3 water energy is a good amount to get down. So it's going to take a few turns. So it's going to need some prompt play. But a second one goes down. Of course, the first one going down for the Melanie. Nothing crazy there. There's a Primate Wisdom. Lets him see a Training Court in this turn. And the hand down. There's no Swirling Slice available. Not going to happen. Really, I mean, Michael, I don't think has enough time to win this game.
No.
Unless Grant fails to find any other Reggies and he can knock them all out. Speaking of, there's 2 more in the hand.
Yep, finds the exact wrong ones. Marnie, here we go. And that was an ideal opener for Michael. Just maybe the clock being the only issue that we see there. Grant's going to have to make magic happen here. Does find 2 different Reggies. Trying to find one more.
Oh, he discards the Ordinary Rod and draws into the Professor's Research. So that Trekking Shoe's bit of a coin flip, but getting there. So he only needs the Reg Ice. Does, of course, have that Professor's Research. Does have Dragon's Sword as well if he wants to. No, he doesn't have Dragon's Sword because of Emperor's Eyes. I think they're being pointed out by Michael in that one. But the Path of the Peak could do it. And I think Grant knows where this game's going. I mean, he's really not pushing. The bench is so full for Michael. There's a Wash energy coming down onto that Empoleon V. No Dragon's Sword is causing a problem. Palkia turned into the Palkia V Star. There's the Primate Wisdom. Draws into a Water energy. And yeah, that's certainly a problem.
Yeah, we don't have time to think. We got to go.
Yeah. There's the Swirling Slice. There's that Regidrago knocked out as an energy goes down onto the Origin form Palkia V Star, and the Regieleki forced into the active. So, Choice Bell down onto the Regidrago. An Aurora energy thrown in there with the help of the Professor's Research, but a Scoop Up Net going in there as well. Not looking great for completing the combo for Grant Manley in this turn. Speed energy onto the Regieleki. You know, is going to be able to draw some cards, but he needs the Reg Ice, and there's the Quick Ball. That is going to be able to help him get there. Just needs to decide what to discard. Looks like he's going for another one of those speed energies. So he could easily power up this Regieleki this turn, because he does, of course, have access to Path of the Peak to turn off Empoleon's Emperor's Eyes.
Yep. So this attack needs to happen soon. We need to see the damage come down onto this Empoleon V. And
I mean, knockout level damage. That's the crazy thing, is it's weak to electric. So it's Regieleki, definitely the premium attacker right now. There's the Regidrago going back. Path of the Peak turns off Emperor's Eyes. And it's been a really good start as a Speed Energy and Aurora Energy come through for that Regieleki. And it looks like it's going to be an easy knockout. So the prize trade very quickly going Grant's way. He's discarding a couple of energy to do that extra damage as well, softening up those Palkias, which guess what they're weak to as well?
Lightning.
Well done, Kyle. Proud of you. You managed to remember the important one. And that's actually really awkward, right? Is that damage now makes this Palkia, you know, it's on 280. It sits really neatly on that 280.
Yeah.
But now it's on 240, and 120 times 2 is?
Math.
Perfect knockout. That's what I call that one. But of course, this Palkia V-Star is going to be able to easily get the knockout on Regieleki. We know one of the Ordinary Rods has already been taken away as well.
This is so big. The attack is coming in with 10 seconds to go.
The Subspace Swell, he just needs to
We need to see the draw right here.
There it is.
Grant does get it in with 5 seconds to go. That means he's going to have access to these 2 turns here.
Okay, so Trekking Shoes. There's the Ultra Ball discarded, and which there is the Capture energy. There is 2 Regieleki in hand. So if he keeps throwing up Regieleki, he's going to keep being able to Regieleki. Does, of course, want to make sure he's doing the damage on these Palkias. The big thing is, can he close it out? There's the Pokegear looking for some supporters. Goes and grabs the Professor's Research. Nicely done. And that's going to make it possible for him to just keep on going through this game, because he needs to use the correct Regieleki twice. He's going to throw one of them back in, I have to imagine, with this Ordinary Rod and a Regidrago as well. So does have access to Terra Spark in the following turn. I think the big thing here would be, honestly, needs to get the knockout this turn and needs to make sure that he has a potential boss's orders, so Michael just doesn't throw him something completely useless. But he's going to need boss's orders and a way to make sure that his hand is properly set up, so he can just Regieleki and Regieleki, Terra Sparking twice, 240, 240 onto the already softened up Palkia V-Stars. It's a long way to go for Grant, but there it comes down.
Yeah, ideally, if this Regieleki had a gift energy, you'd feel really safe. You could then get the knockout here, feel comfortable if your opponent does remove it from play. But
He's gotta
right
go
now
for
we
it.
need to see a scoop up net.
Yeah, he needs a way to get that out of the active. I don't see that.
Oh, no.
Looks like we could be falling short on this one. There's 3 additional Reggies in there, but no way for this Reg Ice to move out of the active. That is a really tough draw for Grant Manley. Yeah, and he concedes it. Michael knows in another 2 turns he's not going to be able to take 4 prizes, and Grant knows that he's not going to be able to take 4 prizes in 2 turns either, even with those multi-prizes available to him. So Grant making all the correct plays, but not able to reach it.
Yeah, lined up perfectly, had every answer ready to go if the cards were off the top of the deck there. And even an air balloon potentially would have been able to get the job done, help out, and just nothing. It's just, yeah, I can't work with this. And it's what you come to expect with the Regigigas deck. Yeah, it's so strong and powerful, and it lines up these big knockouts. But at times, it is going to fail you. And sure enough, that one turned 3 points into 1.
That was a lot of work as well. Everything needed to come out in the correct order. That Professor's Research needed to give him the switch available for the Reg Ice to get it back into the Regieleki. And to be honest, he was probably going to have to do that again the following turn, with his options being limited to, you know, maybe it really depended on where it was going. There's still so much to do in those last few turns that we just see that it wasn't enough time. And there we go. I mean, we said it at the sort of top of the round. There's a lot of work to do if you're the Reggie player and you don't go 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking for what? Boss's orders? I don't even know if it's an option.
Maybe not. That's, that's actually something to consider. I know that